guys, I am back for another illuminating video. Just researching some of the information regarding ways to remove graphene oxide. I just typed it in the browser because I believe we're all affected. Just like what they say in some of these movies, they have these different sayings about we're all affected, or, it encompasses the whole tribe. So I just typed in how to stop graphene oxide because I do suspect there might be some things going on with my own body that I am now looking into protocols. I have not taken any kind of weird stuff, but they're putting it in our food. So, this is just something that we need to think about. So I was looking at all of this, but I really wanted to look at this .gov information. So I just wanted to raise your awareness on this, that they're actually having a narrative about some of these things. Obviously, this has been some ongoing research about graphene oxide, and it's actually been happening since the 1800s. So let's go look at this. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but you guys can go look. I can leave this link in the description box. Guys can go look at this. This is official. This is a .gov site. So just an update on graphene oxide applications and toxicity. So they're basically looking into the biometrics and using this to reformulate the living genome. So there's certain applications when they use this, apparently it's truly overwhelming to the life form that they injected in, or however the method is that they introduce it. And the life form instantly dies. But this is ongoing research, and they're trying to figure out how to make cyborgs basically out of different living beings. And this is, again, my suggestion is that all of this information and where we're going with it comes from these denizens that come from beneath the earth, because there's more to this video that I'm going to add to this. Now, let's just go over the abstract. It says electrocatalytic reactions, the nitrate reduction, hydrazine oxidation, water splitting, and H2 production. So basically in a couple of these, it talks about how it splits water. So the photocatalytic reactions are degradation of organic compounds, water splitting, and CO2 reduction. This is all to restructure the entire biology. And if you notice in the middle of this, it's the alchemy of the four elements symbol right in the center. See this? Star of David? So they're always telling you that they are messing around with the base root forms of our existence. And this is where we can become the solution. Okay, so tissue engineering is their main focus right here. Bone, cartilage, skin, nerves, and teeth. This is basically the entire body structure of all living beings, not just humans, because they're spraying this in the skies. Remember that now. And I've noticed, that's what kind of also got me on this train, is that the earth is becoming super dry again. So yes, we are going trial by fire during this epoch of Aquarius rising. Trial by fire means anything to do with fire. So it's going to be spirit. It's going to be the alchemy of the four elements being used against us in ways that are actually going to burn us. That's what space weapons are about. They are going to try to burn us and control us with the space weapons that they're putting literally everywhere, because space is all around us. I have just seen so much that I now am, feeling more compelled to write books about it so that I can reach a broader audience. I know that I'll be rejected there too, but all you can do is what you can do. So, biomedical applications are drug delivery. We already know what they're doing with that. Gene delivery, same thing. Biosensor and antibacterial. Now, bacteria exists, well, the living structures of bacteria exist in your body for a reason. And usually your gut bacteria is the healthy immune system that keeps your body from having different problems. And they want to eliminate that. And they've been doing this continually ever since they introduced the first, jabs that they've invented since, we've known that in the history of jabs. But anyway, uh, yeah, so there's been other doctors that have said that none of that stuff has ever worked. It's all just a psyop. So toxicity, the cytotoxic to living organisms, they're just listing mice, zebrafish, earthworms, and algae that are super sensitive to this. Now, the rest of us are also getting this toxicity unbeknownst to our minds because we think that we are somehow avoiding it just by avoiding going to the doctors for the you know what. So basically, they've put it in our food. It's in our food supply, it's in all these prepackaged goods. It's being injected and introduced into the fruits and vegetables, grown that way in labs, and then therefore served to us afterwards. And it's all corporate foods. Do you see where this is going? So corporate foods are tied to the Saturnian overlordship that is trying to take over our world. They are using all of the knowledge and all of the energy of Saturn to introduce all of this stuff into us. And I do not consent, I do not agree, I do not wish to contract with this information and all of these applications. So, expressing that outwardly into the universe is very important. It's just as important as if you were standing before someone else to witness this. So, let's just read a little bit of this. Again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's really long, but I do feel like I need to raise awareness on a lot of this because it's pretty serious. So I'm just going to read like this first paragraph and then I'll leave the link for you guys to go and read the rest of it. It's very important to know what they're doing. And if you can read between the lines, you know exactly what they're up to. So the graphene oxide, and after this is stated, it's just going to be go. This is a go. GO has attracted much attention in the past few years because of its interesting and promising electrical, thermal, mechanical, and structural properties. These properties can be altered as GO can readily be functionalized. Brody, whoever Brody is, they don't even mention that, synthesized the GO in 1859 by reacting graphite with KClO3, which is potassium chlorate. This is one of our cell salts. Just so you guys know, when we're talking about any of these types of things, we're talking about different cell salts that can then be altered so that these things can get into our cellular structure. In the presence of fuming HNO3, nitric acid, which is another part of our structure, the reaction took 3 to 4 days to complete at 333 degrees Kelvin. You see what this 333, 666, 333. Since then, various schemes have been developed to reduce the reaction time, increase the yield, and minimize the release of toxic byproducts, the NO2 and the nitrogen dioxide, N2O4, dinitrogen tetroxide. The modified Hummers method has been widely accepted to produce GO in bulk. Due to its versatile characteristics, GO has a wide range of applications in different fields like tissue engineering, photocatalysis, and biomedical applications. Its porous structure is considered appropriate for tissue and organ regeneration. You see where this is going? So they want to pretend like it's going to be medical stuff, but it's for creating these human cyborg applications. Basically, they want to know how to create the skin over the metals and things to create basically terminators. So various branches of tissue engineering are being extensively explored, such as bone, neural, dentistry, cartilage, and skin tissue engineering. The band gap of GO can easily be tuned, and therefore it has a wide range of photocatalytic applications as well. The degradation of organic contaminants, hydrogen generation, and CO2 reduction, etc. GO could be a potential nanocarrier in drug delivery systems, gene delivery, bioelectrical sensing, and antibacterial nanocomposites due to its large surface area and high density, as it is highly functionalized with oxygen-containing functioning groups. GO, or its composites, are found to be toxic to various biological species and also discussed in this review. It has been observed that superoxide dismutase and reactive oxygen species levels gradually increase over a period after GO is introduced in the biological systems. Hence, GO at specific concentrations is toxic for various species like earthworms, Chironomus, riparius, zebrafish, etc. Basically, all biology, all biological entities. They're just gonna list a few that are very benign so people don't get alarmed, but they're spraying it in the skies, people. They are literally using us as guinea pigs. Now, the next most important thing, let's go over this. You guys have probably heard by now about the Brazilian natives who actually saw a photo of a gray alien and said that it was a being from underground. So let's go over this. Native from a secluded Brazilian tribe are asked about aliens. He's never heard of them. Then he's shown a picture of the gray alien. So in November 2023, this one Twitter person, I guess, shared a video interview featuring two indigenous Brazilians from an Amazonian tribe near the Peruvian border. And the interviewer raised the topic of aliens, but the natives seemed unfamiliar with the term at first. However, when shown a picture of a typical gray alien, the tribe's people immediately recognized it as to what they referred to as Mancunawabu. Let's go ahead and listen to this. After being shown a picture of a typical gray alien, are there aliens? What? Alien. Alien. What is it? Have you never heard this word? Alien? Alien? No. This is called Mayoshibu. This? Yes. Mancunawabu. Mancunawabu. Serial? You saying serious? Really? Mancunawabu. Mancunawabu is one who lives underground. Yeah, the one that I talked earlier. That became an ant and we called it Una. It's a big ant. We call it Mancunawabu. This ant is very dangerous. If a person is messing with it too much, it takes a person's spirit underground. To bring it back, you have to be a good shaman. They are beings that can appear in divine light with the light of Nishipan. They are beings that we can make contact, that live underground. I have been trying to say that these things that we are being lied to about, called space aliens, are from the underworld. Guys, I don't know what I can do to try to get people to truly look at this. I know that everybody has their own journey of discovery, but this is very important because they are now upon the earth. They are working with a faction of our government. I believe maybe even our government has been changed and turned with this Neuralink capability and all of this cyborg type technology. Maybe they've already gotten to the humans. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's gone so far that they are now like just taken over. And now it's almost like an unstoppable force, except there are some humans who are realizing that these things are taking over the world, basically, with their technology. This is not our technology that we currently have. The only solution we can do is to raise more awareness into these aspects and also bring back the indigenous knowledge, because this is why they've been systematically wiping out the indigenous cultures around the world. Now they're gunning at Peru because I just recently saw where China is putting a port at the Peruvian border. So they're creating more of this problem instead of the solution. But as we grow further in our spiritual knowledge and are guided by our spirit to connect with the things of the earth, that's where we can say, okay, let's find all of those old ways and start using them again, because we have the power of the light. These other beings do not, but they are using the human consciousness to enact their plans. And that's the main takeaway from this, is to be able to see where the enemy truly is, because I believe that this enemy has donned so many cloaks in order to get us all confused, to get us fighting one another, to make us forget who we truly are, and to just basically wipe our memories of them so that they can then come on top of the world and start making it their own. And that's what I see happening. So with all of the technology that's happening and then the genetics that are coming about with the alterations of genetics, this is the whole scheme of it. Now, this whole thing, this fuse was lit thousands of years ago when they overtook Kemet and all of the spirit knowledge. These different magi were fighting for control, because they want to be on top of the world. And apparently, we go through these cycles of time where we go downwards in our consciousness. And that's really where we are right now. We're at one of the bottommost points in our human evolution of mind, body, and spirit. But there's some who are becoming the answers for tomorrow. When we have these great awakening moments and you can see the problems and you see what you can be as far as becoming more light infused in your body and your mind and your spirit, then you can become the solution for tomorrow. And it's all about love. It's about the restoring the values of love, the values of virtue, and upholding that and holding that space for the consciousness of humanity, because in the future so many people are going to be connected to the Borg that it's going to be more of a dystopian world. And I see all of the technology that is now coming out and what it could potentially be used for in the future. And that is what is like, okay, now I've got to start writing books. I've got to start doing something to organize all of this information so that people can digest it. And even if I'm gone, maybe people can use this knowledge somehow. So I just want to help people. I want to, see what I can do because I see a huge, huge wave that's coming. And, hopefully this space alien narrative gets squelched because so many are grabbing onto it, and their airy-fairy notions of this Aquarian age that's rising. Oh, they're so great. They're going to be coming to save us and meet us. And no, 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 no. Listen, there's even more than just these other entities that are gray aliens. There's other beings that, you really don't want to know them, but then there's others that you do want to know. So we just need to just hold back just a little bit and wait for the narrative to unfold itself, because I do believe that there's going to be this exposure of these other entities, but they're trying to get us connected to the Borg very quickly now. And I have not seen the chemtrails stop. And the day that it does stop, like when we never see it again, then maybe something else has happened. I do believe that we're going to have friends in the Brotherhood of the Light, because I do believe in the ones who actually are living somewhere up above where we cannot see, because our visual spectrum just is not capable of seeing into their dimension. And then also the same thing with the ones below, we can't really see their ships. But if you go into the UFO community, you'll notice that some people are catching UFOs in the UV band of frequency, and others are catching UFOs in the infrared band. So this is the heaven and hell version of Earth that are fighting for supremacy of Middle Earth. And, Lord of the Rings explains so much. When humans and beings who walk in the light, who walk upon the land, go inside the earth to live, their minds start changing because their spirit is now changing. They're devolving. If you look into the golem, for example, the golem devolved. And look, he's almost like these EGG or whatever they are, these space alien things that they're trying to spin a narrative about. So he was a hobbit who became obsessed with the material ring. The ring is Saturn, guys. Any ring, earrings, bracelets, necklaces. and rings that you put on your finger, they're Saturnian. It's a material good, it's a material item. And Saturn's influence is the physical world, it's the material world. This is where we have to grasp that NASA has not been telling us the truth about space, but that it's right here. Your body is Saturnian. You are Saturnian. It's in your energy, in your natal chart. It's like we're part of this entire cosmology that we don't truly recognize because we haven't been in the spiritual plane of knowledge. We haven't been learning this stuff. So the golem here, he degenerated not only from his mind desiring that possession, because he wanted it so bad, he was so lusty for it, that his mind became dark. And therefore, he went underground and he hid underground from the light, and he became even more devolved. Do you see where this is going in a spiritual sense? It's like this is what can actually happen to each one of us if we chose a life underground. Now, there was actual science that was speaking of how they had taken experiments with women where they put the women underground for several weeks, and then the women stopped ovulating. I don't remember exactly where I saw the article, but it was a while ago, in probably before 2010 or so, or maybe just after, when I was working on movie sets. I can't remember exactly where I saw the information, but somewhere I saw where they had done these experiments and the women stopped ovulating. So they were starting to devolve, they were starting to change. The biology changes because our cells need the light. That's why we need the vitamin D. D is the dimensional light. So that's what we're lacking a lot of times too when we're not healthy, is like we need the light for our cells. We are almost like some type of plant, where we have to have the photosynthesis with our cells, but we also have to have the food that contains light. That's why we've been a part of this ritual to bring in the darkness by eating dead foods. We eat dead herbs, we eat dead plants, dead animals. We're, creating cubes everywhere. We're riding along the cube roads, and, we're surrounded by cube buildings. We live inside cube buildings. Well, it's like all this cube energy, and we're all part of the ritual. And when your eyes are open, what can you do? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of this Saturnian takeover. But that's part of the energy of the age of Aquarius. It is time for us to awaken so that we can do battle and join the fight for Middle Earth. Because that's basically what the Lord of the Rings is trying to tell us, is that we are the characters in the Lord of the Rings. That's why we connected so well to this movie. That's why this movie spoke to our inner wisdom. So many people watched this and they were like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's because it's you. We are the characters. We are all the characters that are found in a deck of the tarot cards. These are all the characters that we came to play. So I just wanted to go over that information because I think it's pretty important for us to start truly connecting these dots. Why are they doing the graphene oxide? Why are they, talking about the space alien narrative? All of these different events that are seemingly disconnected are about to be sewn together back into one tapestry, because we have to have our senses about us with what's going on. Otherwise, we're going to just be wiped off the face of the earth completely. If you guys want to learn about how to safely remove graphene oxide, there's some different things here. Now, I cannot attest for any of these. I just say go and maybe look at some of these applications, feel the information inside you, know whether it's good or not. Now, I am a person who strongly feels that we should be using herbs as the remedy. The Mother Earth medicine cabinet has everything that we need to survive anything. And if we're using chemicals that are made from petroleums as a means to get graphene oxide out, What are we doing? Are they putting more graphene oxide in? I don't know, because the petroleum is in the pharmaceuticals, and pharmaceuticals are made by the same ones who are making the graphene oxide. So you see where the problems are. That's why I'm always an advocate for the natural world. And I say if you can find any information in all of these different articles and things across the internet, just grab onto the ones that are practical and use the most natural ingredients and go from there. Now, I'm not going to go into all of these. There's a lot of them out here now, and it could be that these are also by the opposing force. Just know that because they are putting information out here to try to trick us and to confuse us. Because one of the main things that really got me was not only the fact that, knowing the health stuff that I've learned just from the books that I have, I will go online and I'll find exactly the opposite. Like with the alkaline and acidic debate, what foods are alkaline, what things are acidic. Well, I know for a fact that salt is alkaline. If you eat too much salt, you become too alkaline and it can cause you to be out of balance. And if you're too acidic, you can also be out of balance. So you have to become, I think it says 7.0 or something. There's like a mid-range where you need to be just to keep your body in balance. And, there was this thing that I came across where it was sugar and salt, debate. And it's like sugar is acidic. It causes the candida overgrowth in your body to just go out of control. So just know that there's this duality and we're supposed to start learning how to use our inner intuition as a guide. That's what this whole experience has been about. This great awakening and all of this is to use your metaphysics instead of the metaverse, so to speak, because the metaverse is going to be our challenge. And the metaverse is also lying to us about space aliens, about literally everything. So all of these articles could be bunk, and that's why I'm not really going to look into this as a solution. I think there's a lot of people out here that are trying to figure it out. And I believe that, the ones to listen to would be the naturopaths. Because as you can see, a lot of these are coming from .govs. I'd just be careful with a lot of this. And just know that if someone's recommending a natural remedy, then that's probably the best method. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.